Thank you, Senator Hickenlooper. I've probably most recently come off the pavement of running a business, and I can tell you long before COVID, in a state like Indiana, and I travel pledged to visit all 92 of our counties every year that I'm a U.S. Senator, and I learned so much, and workforce was the number one issue, dwarfing even rural broadband and affordable housing. So, and every time I sit down with a business in Indiana, which has got a great climate, we keep wrestling, with this issue. And that gap is growing wider rather than kind of naturally shrinking. And you would hope that when those high demand, high wage jobs are out there, that there'd be an easier way to dovetail that basic education you get in high school to whatever you want to do next, including immediately getting into the workforce. NFIB, who represents a lot of the startups, the small businesses that turn into larger ones, say over half of their members grapple with that, even the ones down with just a few employees. We are currently looking at reauthorizing the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, and I'll have to say that this topic is, maybe along with agriculture, one of the most bipartisan discussions I've seen here in the Senate. So we got a lot of that going for us as well. Some of my colleagues are eager to increase the scope and funding of job training and workforce development through reconciliation, a process we're going through currently. I must tell you, I think that to get the proper input from employers across the country, that we need to be careful there so that we get it right. And maybe this ought to be a topic that we do through regular order, and maybe like this, discuss it, bring expert witnesses in, and check with where the rubber meets the road employers across the country. One way to serve employers' needs is through industry-recognized apprentice programs, IRAPs, which allow job creators to have input and a more active role in what you do. As the economy changes, IRAPs allow apprenticeship programs to be flexible and innovative. Today, you'll hear from Leah Curry, president of Toyota Motor Manufacturing Indiana, based in Princeton, not far from where I live. And they have done an excellent job with their 4T Academy. I think it's a model that companies across the country should aspire to put in place. And I'll close with this. When you have the cost of a college education now eclipsing, in terms of increase rate of cost growth per year, that of healthcare, you've actually risen to a new level of kind of having a dubious category of what's probably for families along with healthcare the most important thing we need to get right. I served on the Education Committee back in our Indiana State Legislature, and believe a lot of our issues go deeper in terms of your state boards of education actually thinking they're doing things by lip service, have generally disaggregated programs that don't hit the sweet spot, and have issues of where you actually stigmatize the pathway, like I found in my own school districts in my home county and one that I served on, where there was no discussion when kids are in middle school, especially when they get to high school, of what your options are. Parents are our main allies in this journey because they probably had one or two kids that pursued a four-year degree. Half of them didn't make it to the finish line. A third that didn't make it to the finish line got a degree with no market. That's sad with as much money as we spend on it. So I think this is going to be collaborative, and I think businesses and parents are the main stakeholders in higher education across the country, which I think is the bailiwick of states. We can do a few things here. I'm looking forward to them taking the bull by the horns and putting us in a better place.